3 Game 4s, one night, and every single one of them had a story nobody saw coming. Story 1, San Antonio, down 17 at halftime, up 21 at the final buzzer, a 38-point swing that has never happened in the history of NBA playoff basketball. Not once, not in 80 years. Story 2, Philadelphia, Joel Embiid, 17 days removed from an appendectomy, came back, logged 34 minutes, led his team in scoring, and still lost by 32 points because Payton Pritchard was coming off the Boston bench in a flow state that nobody could stop. And story 3, Cleveland, 2 All-Stars, 2 of the biggest names in the game, and they got shut down by a rookie nobody outside of Toronto is talking about in a fourth quarter that flipped this entire series on its head. Last night was different. We covering all 3. Let's get into it. Western Conference first round. San Antonio Spurs, the 2 seed, versus Portland Trail Blazers, the 7. On paper, the Spurs handle business, but Portland had been scrappy all series, and heading into Game 4, San Antonio had a real problem. Victor Wembanyama, their franchise player, had been sidelined since taking a concussion hit in Game 2. Portland's front court had been eating without him. Donovan Clingan was moving the ball well. Robert Williams III, 11 points, 9 boards in back-to-back games. Portland was winning the paint battle and they knew it, but the king was coming back. Game 4, Sunday, Portland, Victor Wembanyama cleared to play, and the return didn't fix things immediately. Portland came out in that first half like they had something to prove. Built a 17-point halftime lead, 58-41. The Spurs were cold. Turnovers were piling up. For a young team, you had to wonder if the moment was getting to them. Smirk in voice. Spoiler, nah. Third quarter, San Antonio comes out of that locker room a completely different team. The final line, 27 points, 11 rebounds, 7 blocks, 4 steals. 8 for 10 from the paint, 5 dunks in the second half alone, 4 of them on lob catches. Portland had no answer, and the big men who had been feasting without him. Clingan, 2 for 10, Williams, 2 for 4 with 6 rebounds. That is what Wembanyama does. He doesn't just block shots, he changes the game before shots get attempted. After the win, Wemby spoke on what drives this team. In adversity, we stick together. We get closer to each other. We feed off each other's energy. We thrive when we do the invisible efforts that benefit others. There's no jealousy. Nobody cares about their stat line. It's our greatest strength. Quietly. That's a champion talking. That's a champion, and Fox orchestrated everything else. 28 points on 11 for 17 shooting, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 4 threes. 14 of those 28 in the paint on 7 for 8 shooting. Coach Mitch Johnson put it perfectly. Might have been his best game as a Spur. He dominated the game in every way. When everybody else got on the same page, he started scoring, he started spoon-feeding his teammates. He completely took over. The coach said what he said. 10 of his fourth quarter points came in a 4-minute stretch. The game was over before Portland realized what hit them. Final, San Antonio 114, Portland 93. Spurs lead 3-1. And in doing so, they became the first team in NBA playoff history, nearly 80 years of basketball, to trail by 15 or more at halftime and win by 15 or more. Not the Showtime Lakers, not the Jordan Bulls, not the Tim Duncan Spurs, nobody. Until now, they are 1 game away. 1, and they are built for this moment. If you're locked in, subscribe right now. 3 stories tonight, no filler, just facts. And up next, Joel Embiid came back from having his appendix removed, and Boston still won by 32 because Payton Pritchard was absolutely untouchable. Flow state, activated. Philadelphia, Xfinity Mobile Arena, the Celtics, defending champions, already up 2-1 in the series, and the Sixers, backs against the wall, finally got their superstar back. Joel Embiid, 7 games missed, appendectomy, 17 days of recovery. They didn't even confirm he was playing until less than an hour before tip-off. He played 34 minutes, 26 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, and it wasn't even close. Boston won by 32. Their best player came back from abdominal surgery, and they still lost by 32. Boston's approach on night one of Embiid's return was cold-blooded. They forced him to guard the pick and roll or off-ball screens on 5 of their first 6 possessions. No easing in, no warm-up period. They were going to make him work from the jump, and it paid off immediately. Neemias Queta dunk over late-arriving help on possession 1. Less than 2 minutes later, Derek White gets Embiid on his heels. Queta again under the basket. Tracking data shows Embiid was the screener's defender on 37 ball screens in Game 4, tied for his second highest total of the entire season. The Celtics closed the first quarter on a 22-5 run. After that, they never led by fewer than 14. The game was done in the first quarter. Boston just hadn't put it on the scoreboard yet. 22-5 to close the quarter. That's not a run, that's a statement. And then there was Payton Pritchard, 32 points, 6 3-pointers. 13 of those 32 came before the end of the first quarter. He checked in with 6 minutes and 35 seconds on the clock. And by the time that buzzer sounded, he had dribbled past Embiid and buried a 3 off 1 foot at the buzzer to cap the quarter. Only the third Celtic in franchise history to drop 32 or more off the bench in a playoff game. And he described what being in that zone feels like. It's more of a flow state. In my workouts, I try to hit that on the daily so that when I get into the games, it's a regular thing. A flow state, off the bench, in the playoffs. With Embiid coming back from surgery and Jason Tatum, who had 30 points and 11 assists of his own. On what makes Pritchard special, P's a gym rat. He's always going to be in the gym, working on his craft, trying to get better. It shows in moments like tonight because he's just relentless in how hard he works. Let me give you the stat that ends the debate. Boston outscored Philadelphia 72-27 from 3-point range, 72-27. 10 different Celtics hit threes. And listen to this, the 3 biggest 3-point differentials across all 30 playoff games played this postseason. All 3 of them are Celtics-Sixers matchups. Game 4, Boston plus 45. Game 1, plus 36. Game 3, plus 24. Philadelphia cannot solve this problem, and right now, there is no answer for it. Boston plus 45 from 3 in one game. That's not a matchup problem, that's a crisis. Celtics lead 3-1. One win from their 9th Eastern Conference semifinal in 10 years as a franchise. Boston's rebounding percentage of 59.8% in this game was the highest of any team in the 2026 playoffs. They outworked, outshot, and outthought Philadelphia in every direction that mattered. Game 5, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, ESPN, Boston. If Embiid can't find another level, this series is done. Boston looks like champions because they are champions. Now, before we wrap this up, there is a third story from last night that might be the most important one for the rest of these playoffs. Because in Cleveland, Donovan Mitchell and James Harden, 2 of the most dangerous offensive players in the Eastern Conference, just got handled by a rookie, and the series that everyone thought was over is tied at 2. Murray-Boyles. Say the name, Eastern Conference first round, Cleveland Cavaliers, the 4 seed, against the Toronto Raptors, the 5. A 4 versus 5 matchup that most people assumed the Cavs would handle. They had Donovan Mitchell, they had James Harden, they won games 1 and 2 on the road in Toronto. But here's what happened after that. The Raptors won game 3 on a 47-23 second half run, 19 straight buckets at one point. And now, game 4 back in Toronto, they've done it again. Final score, Toronto 93, Cleveland 89. Series tied 2-2, and the Raptors did it without even playing well, because when a game gets ugly and tight and scrappy, they have players built for that exact environment. The Cavs walked into Toronto twice, and they walked out with nothing, both times. Let's start with the story everyone should be talking about coming out of Game 4. Murray-Boyles, Raptors rookie, 15 points, 10 rebounds, 5 of them on the offensive glass, 3 assists, 2 steals, and he has now scored double-digit points in 4 consecutive playoff games. That makes him the first Raptors rookie to ever do that in franchise history. But here's the part that really matters. He is outplaying Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley, 2 Cleveland big men with far more experience, far more accomplishments, far more reputation. Mobley and Allen combined for 11 points in Game 4. Murray-Boyles alone had 15, and he was the reason Toronto kept getting second and third chances at the basket all night long. When asked about performing in the playoff atmosphere, he said this: "I'm just cherishing the moment. It makes me smile, just being a part of this." He's smiling, bro, in the playoffs, as a rookie, outplaying veterans, and he's just smiling. That confidence is dangerous, and Cleveland has no answer for it. And while Murray-Boyles was cleaning the glass and making life difficult for Cleveland's bigs, Scottie Barnes was doing everything else. 23 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 blocks. In a low-scoring, physical 4-point game, those are winning numbers. Barnes made shots, got to the free throw line, delivered the ball when necessary, protected the glass, defended. He was everywhere Cleveland needed him not to be. And at the most important moment of the game, trailing by 5 with 2.5 minutes left on the clock, Barnes stepped forward, kept scoring, kept getting fouled, kept answering. The Raptors closed that game on a 17-5 run, and Scottie Barnes was at the center of it. 17-5, down 5, 2.5 minutes left, closed it out. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, because none of what Toronto did would have mattered if Cleveland's backcourt had shown up. Donovan Mitchell, 8 points in the first 3 quarters. Combined across both Toronto games this series, 13 for 39 from the field. In a playoff series against a 5 seed, James Harden, 7 turnovers in Game 4, 7 against 6 field goals. That's more turnovers than made baskets. And this is now 2 straight games in Toronto where Harden has had more turnovers than field goals made. 2 straight. Here's what the Raptors did to expose them. Down the stretch, Toronto started trapping Mitchell and Harden, taking away their space, daring them to kick it out to someone else. And instead of accepting that, both stars took heavily contested shots. No free looks, both missed. And in the final minute, Jamal Shead, Toronto's point guard, who was 0 for 6 from the field, made a read, stole the ball from Mitchell, and the resulting free throws from Barnes put the Raptors up for good. Raptors coach Darko Rajakovic on that moment. Jamal being able to make that read and having the clock awareness in that split second shows how smart he is. The 0 for 6 shooter made the play that won the game. That's how bad it got for Cleveland. And Mitchell post-game could only say, "They just didn't fall." Harden admitted, "It's not like they're doing something crazy." That second quote is the one that should scare Cavs fans, because if it's not complicated and Mitchell and Harden still can't solve it, what happens in Game 5? And before we move on, let's address the context of this game, because it wasn't pretty. Not for anybody. The Cavaliers and Raptors combined for just 74 points at halftime. That's the fewest first-half points in any playoff game in 10 years. They combined to shoot 7 for 39 from 3 in the first half alone. Role players missed, stars missed. It was rough across the board. Jacoby Walter, filling in for the injured Emmanuel Quickly, went 0 for 9. 0 for 9. Brandon Ingram needed 23 shots to score 23 points. Jamal Shead, who made the decisive steal, was 0 for 6 from the field before that moment. Nobody played well, but Toronto played well enough. In a grinding, ugly, physical playoff game, the Raptors found a way. And that tells you something about who this team is when the lights are brightest. It wasn't pretty, but a W is a W, and they earned it. Series tied 2-2. Game 5, Wednesday, back in Cleveland. And Cavs coach Kenny Atkinson put it best post-game. This seems like a typical playoff series. 4 versus 5, tied 2-2. They did what they were supposed to do. When you're at home, you're supposed to win in the playoffs. That's measured. That's professional. But the real question coming out of Game 4 isn't about the series being tied. It's about what Mitchell and Harden do differently in Cleveland. Because what they've been doing in Toronto has not worked at all. And on the other side, Murray-Boyles is a rookie who's smiling. Barnes is the best player in this series right now. And Darko Rajakovic has his team playing with genuine belief. Game 5, Wednesday, Cleveland. The pressure is entirely on the home team, and I'll be covering it. Make sure you're here for it.